Have you ever wondered what could be wearing down your image without you even realizing it? Often, small attitudes can go unnoticed in our eyes, but they leave deep marks on others. The importance of how we are perceived goes far beyond appearances. It involves respect and trust, essential pillars in any relationship. In this video, I will reveal the attitudes that can erode this positive perception that you want to build. After all, our actions speak louder than words and can profoundly affect the way others see us. Get ready to reflect on aspects that you may have never noticed before. Sometimes it's the little habits that sabotage a carefully constructed image. Subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Respect is something we all want, but not everyone knows how to maintain it. The loss of respect is often gradual and silent, the result of small but impactful attitudes. It's like building a bridge and gradually removing important bricks. Behaviors that seem harmless can accumulate, damaging our image among others. To avoid this, it is essential to understand the causes that lead someone to lose respect for us. Knowing how to identify and correct these behaviors can be the first step to preserving the respect and admiration of those around us. Arrogance is one of the most repellent attitudes a person can demonstrate, even if in a subtle way. It's like a poison that, little by little, alienates those around you. Often confused with self-confidence, arrogance leads others to see us negatively, as if we consider ourselves superior. Instead of attracting people, this attitude creates an invisible barrier that generates rejection. Learning to differentiate confidence from arrogance is essential for building healthy relationships and maintaining respect from others. The story of the philosopher Diogenes is a powerful example of humility and limits. Diogenes lived without great attachments, valuing simplicity and ignoring social conventions. When Alexander the Great asked him what he wanted, he only replied to get away from the sun. This extreme example makes us reflect on arrogance and the value of humility in our daily interactions. Sometimes, even when we can impress, silence and modesty speak louder. It is this humble posture that inspires confidence, as it demonstrates that we're not looking for constant self-affirmation, but rather genuine connections. The line between confidence and arrogance is fine, but fundamental. While confidence attracts and strengthens relationships, arrogance alienates and creates barriers. Confidence is authentic and comes from true self-acceptance, without the need to constantly assert your superiority. Arrogance hides insecurity, a need to prove something to oneself and others. Understanding this difference and choosing to be trustworthy, not arrogant, is a step towards earning the respect of those around us. Research shows that arrogant people tend to have fewer friends and are less liked in work environments. Furthermore, these people often underestimate the value of others, which impacts their own worldview. Studies from universities like Michigan show that arrogance generates failures in judgment, leading to wrong decisions in both personal and professional lives. Arrogance is, therefore, an invisible barrier that isolates the person, limiting growth and damaging interpersonal relationships. We are often unaware of our own arrogant actions, but they are evident to others. Constantly interrupting, underestimating others and avoiding excuses are warning signs. When someone believes they are always right, even when evidence shows otherwise, it reveals a lack of openness to learning. Recognizing these signs is the first step to changing and preventing arrogance from becoming a mark of your personality. Negativity is like a magnet for problems that impacts not only mental health, but also the surrounding environment. A constantly negative person spreads this energy and drives away those who want to see life with optimism. Studies show that constant pessimism increases stress levels, negatively impacting health. It increases the risk of illness and creates a vicious cycle of lack of motivation and complaints. Giving up this habit is essential to attract respect and build positive and constructive relationships with people. Science shows that negative emotions can have devastating effects on your health. They increase cortisol, the stress hormone, which in the long term can lead to heart problems, depression, and even premature aging. Living immersed in negative thoughts wears down the mind and body, creating a cycle of dissatisfaction and low productivity. By learning to combat these thoughts, you will not only improve your health, but you will also become a more pleasant and balanced person to be around. Cortisol is the physical reflection of pessimism. This hormone, produced in stressful situations when constant, wears down the body and harms our disposition. Living with high levels of cortisol affects our mood and even our ability to reason, making us see the world in a negative way. By replacing pessimism with constructive thoughts, it is possible to reduce cortisol levels and improve quality of life. Psychologist Martin Seligman developed a practical technique for challenging negative thoughts: the ABC method. This approach helps to deal with adversity, changing our perception of them. The first step, A, consists of identifying the adversity. Then B observes the beliefs that arise, while C analyzes the consequences of these thoughts. With practice, this method allows you to transform pessimism into a more balanced stance, improving mental health and interaction with others. The 21 Days No Complaints Challenge, created by Will Bowen, aims to break the habit of complaining, encouraging a positive outlook on life. It consists of wearing a bracelet and changing arms whenever a complaint is made. The goal is to keep the bracelet on the same arm for 21 consecutive days. This practice helps us realize how much we complain without noticing, and over time we can see situations in a lighter and more constructive way. Positivity does not ignore problems, but faces them with a focus on solutions. Positive people are resilient, capable of learning and overcoming difficulties without losing their balance. Science proves this approach reduces stress and improves health by creating a network of support and inspiration around you. To earn respect, it is essential to develop an optimistic and resilient attitude, as this directly influences how others see you. Lack of empathy is an invisible barrier that prevents authentic connections. Without it, relationships lose their depth, as empathy is the pillar of mutual understanding. Being available to listen and understand others creates bonds of trust and respect. When we stop practicing empathy, we are actually distancing ourselves from people. This ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes is a bridge to stronger and more lasting relationships. Empathy, in addition to facilitating relationships, is crucial for social survival. It allows cooperation and understanding, strengthening communities and groups. Research reveals that empathetic ancestors were more likely to survive, as they were able to care for each other in times of difficulty. Practicing empathy in everyday life brings us closer to others and promotes an environment of collaboration, respect, and mutual help. Just like a muscle, empathy grows with daily exercise. Simple gestures such as listening carefully, showing genuine interest, and offering support strengthen this skill. When we practice empathy, we are seen as trustworthy and inspiring people, and this naturally generates respect. This continuous exercise transforms our relationships, creating stronger and more authentic bonds. Inconstancy is a habit that destabilizes any relationship, creating an environment of uncertainty and insecurity. People who don't keep their promises quickly lose credibility. Frequent changes and non-compliance with commitments generate distrust, alienating those who seek consistency and stability. To preserve respect, it is essential to cultivate constancy and be faithful to the words and promises made to others. Consistency is one of the most valued factors in personal and professional relationships. A study from the University of California showed that predictability breeds trust. Constant people are seen as reliable and committed, which makes it easier to build lasting bonds. By choosing constancy, you not only preserve but strengthen the respect and admiration of others. Trust is built with small commitments maintained over time. Keep what you promise and avoid promises you cannot keep. When you demonstrate that you honor your words, you create a cycle of trustworthiness where others feel safe around you. This habit can transform relationships as people know they can count on you in important moments. A solid reputation for reliability brings both personal and professional benefits. In the workplace, this means being considered for opportunities. Trustworthy people attract sincere friendships where there is mutual respect and genuine admiration. Cultivating this image is a long-term investment as it generates stability and strengthens relationships around it. Integrity is the invisible foundation on which true respect is built. Without it, any relationship is fragile and easily falls apart. Being honest goes far beyond simply following rules. It means acting honestly and consistently, even when no one is looking. When someone lacks integrity, they may achieve immediate gains, but they pay the price of distrust in the long term. Lack of integrity is harmful because it undermines credibility and respect, alienating those around it. When someone realizes that a person does not act in accordance with what they preach, this inconsistency destroys the admiration that could exist. Having integrity is more than having a good reputation. It's about aligning words and actions so that those who live alongside you know they can trust you. Therefore, maintaining integrity is an act of commitment to yourself and others. Once you value transparency and act in accordance with your principles, people around you will notice, and this behavior inspires trust and respect, strengthening your relationships in a genuine and lasting way. Having integrity is not just doing what is right when it is convenient, but maintaining that attitude even when there are challenges. Integrity is about having the courage to be true to yourself and others, upholding solid values without being influenced by what is easiest or advantageous at the moment. Integrity resists external pressure and avoids shortcuts that compromise morals and ethics. In personal and professional relationships, integrity is synonymous with reliability. It requires consistency and authenticity, allowing people to trust you, knowing that you are someone who delivers what you promise. This quality is not built overnight, but every small action or decision you make towards honesty contributes to strengthening it. Therefore, integrity is the foundation for any relationship that is desired to be lasting and positive. People of integrity attract trust, and this mutual respect generates deeper and enriching relationships. After all, respect earned with integrity is worth more than any immediate advantage. Integrity is a value that resonates deeply in both personal and professional life. People who act with integrity are recognized for their ethics and reliability, which naturally makes them respected and admired. In the work environment, this quality is a differentiator that leads to growth, as superiors and colleagues know they can count on someone who acts fairly and responsibly. Personal relationships also flourish when integrity is present, as it eliminates distrust and brings security. Those who live with integrity generally establish clear limits, act transparently, and avoid toxic behaviors. This creates a safe environment where others feel they can be authentic and express their vulnerabilities. Therefore, integrity is the key to establishing a positive and trustworthy reputation, which opens doors and attracts the right people. It requires effort and dedication, but the return is immeasurable. Strong relationships and opportunities that arise in a natural and sustainable way. Dishonesty is a poison that, even in small doses, profoundly affects the way we are seen and respected by others. When someone acts dishonestly, whether by lying, omitting, or manipulating the truth, they inevitably destroy the respect they have built over time. Dishonesty erodes trust, which is difficult to regain once lost. This behavior creates an environment of insecurity and uncertainty as people start to question the veracity of everything that has been said previously. In professional environments, dishonesty is one of the main causes of conflicts and disagreements, in addition to negatively impacting the career and reputation of those who act in this way. Avoiding dishonesty is a choice that preserves respect and credibility. When we act with transparency, we allow others to trust us, which solidifies relationships and creates a positive cycle of mutual respect. Personal responsibility is one of the most admired traits, and its absence is quickly noticed and rejected. People who do not accept their own mistakes and always blame external circumstances or other people end up conveying an image of immaturity and lack of commitment. Accountability is about acknowledging failures and learning from them without seeking excuses or shifting blame. Being responsible is a sign of growth and maturity, as it demonstrates that you understand that your actions have consequences and that you are willing to face the results. Lack of personal responsibility not only damages your image, but also hinders personal development, as it prevents you from learning from mistakes and evolving. By taking responsibility for your actions, you demonstrate that you are trustworthy, which generates admiration and respect, whether at work or in personal relationships. This behavior values others and creates an environment of security and trust. Responsibility is fundamental to earning respect, as it shows that you care about your actions and their impact on others. Responsible people are seen as leaders, as they convey security and stability in their attitudes. They do not run away from problems, but take control of their choices and decisions, demonstrating maturity. This type of attitude inspires those around us, as responsibility is a value that promotes collective growth. In professional environments, colleagues and superiors respect those who not only fulfill their duties, but also take the initiative to resolve difficult situations. Therefore, taking personal responsibility is a direct path to strengthening the respect and trust of others, creating lasting and positive relationships. Constantly looking for excuses is a habit that impedes growth and negatively affects how others perceive us. Instead of acknowledging a mistake, people who seek excuses miss the chance to learn from the situation, preferring to blame external factors. This behavior creates an image of immaturity and unpreparedness. Overcoming this tendency requires honesty with yourself and a dose of humility. Accepting your own mistakes, although difficult, is essential for personal development and earning people's respect. Taking responsibility rather than justifying mistakes transforms how others see you. Demonstrating that you are willing to learn from failures is a valued and admired attitude, which strengthens confidence in your abilities. Being the protagonist of your own life means taking control and acting with responsibility and maturity. This role does not allow outsourcing blame or living as a victim of circumstances. It requires courage to deal with challenges and seek solutions. Anyone who takes charge of their own life comes to be seen as someone inspiring and with an admirable attitude. Protagonism is directly linked to respect and self-confidence, as it allows you to determine your own path without depending on the decisions or approval of others. It is the daily exercise of not just accepting challenges, but creating opportunities and transforming failures into learning. Becoming the protagonist of your own story is a journey of self-discovery and courage, which makes others also see you as a capable, determined, and respectable person. Respecting other people's time is a sign of consideration and value that you attribute to others. Lack of punctuality or lack of interest in meeting schedules sends the message that your time is more important than other people's, which causes frustration and reduces the respect they have for you. Arriving on time and fulfilling commitments on time demonstrate organization and commitment, fundamental elements for strengthening relationships. People who constantly arrive late or change plans undermine the trust and credibility others have in them. Respecting other people's time is an act of appreciation that generates reciprocity. When you are punctual and keep your commitments, people notice your respect and admire your responsible attitude. Being punctual is a habit that goes beyond sticking to a schedule. It reflects your level of organization and consideration for others. Punctual people convey confidence and professionalism as they demonstrate that they care about time and the needs of others. Punctuality is a silent but powerful sign of respect. Those who are punctual show that they are capable of managing their lives and that they value those with whom you committed. This habit is a mark of successful people as it reveals commitment and determination. By adopting punctuality as a constant practice, you strengthen your image and win the admiration of those around you. Being punctual can require discipline, but small changes to your routine make this habit easier. Planning ahead and preparing everything the night before are simple but effective steps to ensure you leave on time. Another important practice is to adopt the 10-minute rule, planning to arrive at your destination with this margin in advance. This way, you avoid unforeseen events and gain time to concentrate before the appointment. By adopting these practices, you demonstrate organization and respect for other people's time, and the people around you will notice your efforts and value you even more. Respecting other people's time is one of the most subtle and effective ways to gain respect. This gesture demonstrates consideration and shows that you value not only commitments, but also the presence and efforts of other people. In professional contexts, meeting deadlines and schedules is a clear sign of responsibility and commitment, which builds trust. When you respect others' time, they naturally reciprocate with respect, creating a positive cycle. Valuing other people's time strengthens any type of relationship and is a differentiator that highlights responsible and trustworthy people. Listening carefully is a rare but extremely valuable skill. When a person cannot listen to another person, constantly interrupts or does not pay attention, this conveys an image of arrogance and disinterest. The inability to listen negatively affects communication, as it creates barriers and generates frustration. Those who don't listen miss the opportunity to learn and connect authentically with others. By practicing active listening, you not only improve your relationships, but you are also seen as someone who values and respects others, which strengthens the bond and creates empathy. Knowing how to listen is one of the greatest signs of respect you can show someone. When you really listen, you show genuine interest and create a safe space for others to express themselves. This skill strengthens any type of relationship and conveys the message that you value others. By practicing active listening, you open doors to deep dialogue and true connection, which naturally generates admiration and respect. Learning to listen is more than a social skill. It is a virtue that brings people together and allows you to build lasting and meaningful bonds. Asking relevant questions and demonstrating sincere curiosity is one of the most effective ways to strengthen communication. When you ask questions, you send the message that you are engaged and interested in the conversation, which creates an atmosphere of respect and openness. Mindful questions help you understand what the other person is saying and show that you value their perspective. This habit not only improves the quality of the interaction, but also strengthens the bond and trust. Showing genuine interest is one of the ways to gain respect, as people can tell when you really care about what they have to say. Interruption is one of the biggest enemies of good communication. It conveys the idea that what you have to say is more important, which can come across as disrespectful. Controlling the urge to interrupt takes practice, but it's essential if you want to be seen as respectful. When you avoid interrupting, you allow the other person to complete their reasoning, creating a more fluid and productive exchange. This attitude demonstrates patience and consideration. Practicing attentive listening without interrupting is a clear sign of respect, which creates an environment where both parties feel valued and heard. Being authentic means being true to yourself and your values. People who change their personality depending on the situation are seen as fickle and false, which reduces the respect that others have for them. Authenticity is the basis of trust, as it allows the other person to know who they are really dealing with. Those who are authentic earn respect and admiration, as they act transparently and sincerely. When you are true, you attract relationships based on what really matters, without needing masks to please. Staying true to your values is an act of courage, as it means that you will not compromise your convictions to please others. People who value their own principles are seen as inspiring and worthy of respect. Being true to your values requires self-knowledge and determination, but it is this authenticity that brings depth and truth to relationships. Anyone who acts in accordance with their values is perceived as someone with integrity and respect. Valuing your own principles strengthens your image and lets people know they can trust you. Authenticity allows relationships to be deeper and truer. When you show yourself as you really are, people around you feel comfortable doing the same, creating a cycle of respect and trust. Authentic relationships are based on shared values and transparency, which strengthens the bond and mutual admiration. Being true inspires others and generates respect, as everyone seeks authenticity in a world full of appearances. Cultivating authenticity is the key to building relationships where trust and respect are solid and lasting. Respect is the foundation that supports any healthy relationship. It is not required, but achieved through daily attitudes that demonstrate consideration, responsibility, and authenticity. Those who act with respect build relationships that resist time and challenges, as these relationships are based on solid values and genuine admiration. Having respect from others is the result of choices and attitudes that reflect your character and commitment. People are attracted to those who act with integrity, responsibility, and empathy, creating a network of support and trust. May this video inspire you to reflect on your attitudes and build a respectable and admirable image, where each action strengthens the bonds and admiration of the people around you.